Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Bookish Artist Mandy here, and I am coming at you today with another Diamine Forever video. So someone mentioned the other day on my video that one, the swatches that I did in my first mixing video were really small, and two, that they would love to see just the standard yellow and red and mixes, so the secondary colors and all of that, just so they could see, because I didn't think about it. I didn't do the math because I did only get a few colors. If you buy all 16 bottles, it's something like $400. So yeah, I get that. I get wanting to know, and it's easy to see that you can mix them, but if you don't know how to mix, or if you don't know which ones you'd want to get, I totally get that. Now I picked the two blues. I picked the Skyline and the blue indigo and the solar yellow and the Honeypot, but I picked three reds or purples, or reds or pinks. So I did tiger lily, cherry red, and the hot magenta. And the reason I did that is because in watercolor or other mixing and kind of paint mixing, you can use all of these colors to get some of your more secondary colors, which is what I was thinking. And color mixing is a thing that artists and everyone does. Like, the way that we make different inks is by mixing colors. And so I did want to share this. This is a book. This I got from my library. I have to return it. Unfortunately, I ran out of renewals. I may bring it back and then check it out again if somebody else doesn't check it out. But this is a really great resource, and I think I have to buy it. But you can pick any color you want to mix, and this is for oil, acrylic, watercolor. Ink works a lot like watercolor. So if you go in here, it gives you the ratios of the colors that you need. So like burnt umber, burnt sienna, Indian red will give you all these different browns, which is great. And like burnt umber, I'm trying to look, see if they have a picture of what these colors look like, but that's like butterscotch. Or cadmium yellow is definitely more the Honeypot. So it's just kind of, I mean, you'd have to play with this, but you can get so many different tones using the colors that the first 16 colors that they gave us. And I mean, I even mixed smoky mauve with a couple colors to get a green that I wanted. And so it's just kind of a matter of what my suggestion to you is, if you have never color mixed before, this isn't the only resource out there, but find a color resource book and kind of just study it a little bit, because you can even do that. But also, if you have bought inks, experiment, so that's my number one. But I do want to do this today, and I do want to mix them. So what I have done is I've set these up. This is Life bank paper. I ended up, something happened to one of my what is this? This is like just a little tableau, or whatever you call this, like a notepad. There we go. Found the word. And so half of it is kind of wonked up. So I decided to start taking it from the back, but I have like 3 of these, and there's 100 sheets in them. And I know that they're not making this bank paper anymore, but I don't use it. Even though I have a lot of it, I don't use it that much. So I thought this will work great. So I'm just going to go into this, and we're going to mix. I'm going to mix the mixes and then be able to show you on each. I'm just going to use a brush today, so it's not going to be perfect once my brush gets wet, so it's not going to be exact, but it's going to be pretty darn close. And I have my ceramic palette here. I have pipettes so I can mix the colors, and we will just get started. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see the colors a little better, and I have written the names already to make sure that I had each sheet, I had each color mix. So we're starting with solar yellow, blue indigo, and tiger lily. And so what I am doing here is I'm just going to pull just a little. The pipette takes a lot, but I know I'm going to use solar yellow, so I'm going to keep that in there. But I'm just putting one dot on here And I think I'm going to get my brush just slightly wet. This is a Princeton Velvet Touch brush, and it's a size 4 round. If you don't know about brushes, these are just my favorite brushes. Princeton are synthetic, like they have a synthetic brush, so it's not actual animal hair. So I kind of like that, but I just love these brushes. They're just nice and soft, and yeah. I'm a little nervous about using this brush with this pigment-based ink, but at the same time, I think it should be okay. And I will say that I have had absolutely no issues with this pigment ink from Diamine. And the one thing that I did see, and this same person who asked me to do this video did mention, like, they wish that Diamine had a white, but I don't know. So I don't know if any other companies have a permanent white that is good for fountain pens, but I know that the one I do have is iffy. Here it is. It separates really bad. I don't know if you can see that on camera. This is Diatramentis's pigment ink, and I do love the document ink line with Diatramentis, and it just that some of it is so watered down that I can't, it's unusable. But this you have to really shake it, and I find that even in my pen, because I have used this, it works for a while, but it does clog and it separates, so then your color isn't consistent, and that really bothers me. I have not found that my Diamine Forever inks separate in the pen when I've mixed them, so I don't know what pigments they're using, but I really don't think it's the same as the Diatramentis, but I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong, but I just wanted to preference that, and I don't know if that's the reason why Diamine doesn't have a white pigment, or if it's just that they didn't release it yet. I'm not sure, but it would be nice if we could have a white pigment. I will say the one thing I do like about the Diatramentis is that it works on black paper, so sometimes I have used it. I wonder too if the consistency would be better if I mixed it with a Diamine Forever ink. I have no idea, but this ink is just so good. I can't say it enough. I say it all the time, but it is so good, and I am just blown away every time I use it. Like, I have been so happy with it, and I have been, like, the reason I got into fountain pens is because of pigment inks. So I've used pigment inks. The only one I really haven't used that much is the what is that brand? The Write and Draw Octopus inks. I don't know that I really care for it, as like the ink that I had didn't work very well. It's like a light blue, but maybe I just got a bad ink. I don't know, but if you like octopus inks, great. I don't know as much about them as other people might, but as you can see, so I just mixed 1-to-1 right here. And now I can do and add, I can take this, I'll take this over here just a little bit and add one more drop. I guess I'll add a drop right there, but I'm gonna go right here and just add a drop. Come on. Okay. And then this would be like the in-between here. Be closer to Solar Yellow. So you can kind of see. I also think that this ink is so great because it shades so well. And then I will do that the same with a Tiger Lily and add a couple more drops. Ah, there we go. And get the like red orange, and so you can see like you'll get different tones. I'm going to make those really small though, just because I wanted to focus on what you can really get if you just do 1-to-1, but since I'm here, why not? Okay, now we're going to go into the blue indigos, and what I probably will do is when this gets full, I will probably pause and clean this off and come back, but just wanted to let you know because I want to make sure that this is as, what's the word, as accurate as possible for you so you can really see. So I'm trying to be really, really delicate. Yeah. But I have been very, very impressed with this Diamine Forever ink. I'm just super impressed. Oh, I might need, oh yeah, you know what? There we go. One drop. Aha, there we go. So I'm going to take this blue indigo here. And this seems to me very much so like, it looks so much like my Indanthrone blues. And I usually have Indanthrone as one of my primary blues in my watercolor palette. It makes darker, moodier colors, but it still makes really beautiful mixes. So it's not necessarily the standard mix, but they don't have like an ultramarine blue or like, I don't know if it's a warm blue or a cool blue. I don't know if Skyline would be considered phthalo blue or ultramarine, but they don't have one of the blues. So that's why I went with indigo, because indigo is seeming like it could be, I always have a really hard time with each color because there is a warm yellow and a cool yellow, a warm yellow or warm red and a cool red. I really have a hard time remembering which is which, but regardless of that, the blue indigo can mix, and that is a flippin' lovely, lovely green, if I do say so myself. I am not looking at, I have all of the colors in a sample pack. I do not have all the colors in bottles, but wow, that's beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. And now what I'm going to do here is I want to add maybe, you know what, I got another pipette here. I'm going to take a little bit of this. Just because I'm trying to see the mid color, and if you add a little bit more blue. Oh, wow. Okay, so I think I'm going to mix up some of this where it's more blue indigo, because that is a lovely, lovely dark green. Lovely. Okay, and then just add a little bit more here so you get a little bit more green or more yellow. And there's in between, kind of like those I think aren't as accurate. So now we're going to move into Tiger Lily and indigo. Our last mix for this one. So you can see if you just get the 3 colors, you can get quite a bit of difference. Like you can get just by these 3 colors. And then what's really cool is that you can also mix all of these and get some more tones. And it's just like, oh, it's really, when you have a palette, that's the one thing is in watercolor, when you're learning watercolor, and this is one of the things I've been learning, because I am still learning watercolor. I just started a few years ago. When you're learning watercolor, they suggest you start with a limited palette with 1 red or 2 reds, 2 blues, 2 yellows. And sometimes they say to do like, you can do like a couple earth colors if you're landscaping, but they really want you to learn how to color mix as a painter. So that's why, oh, did I not wash my brush enough? I don't think I washed my brush enough. Oh no. Okay, we're gonna try that one more time just to make sure. Make sure I washed my brush so there's no green, because that looks pretty green, and that might be the color, you know. That's the hard part, is that purples, that's why you get the magenta. Purples are really hard to, like the bright purples are really hard to mix. Nope, that is the color. There you go. So this is what's so interesting about getting all of these different colors, is you get a color like that when you mix Tiger Lily. Because I guess Tiger Lily is very orange based. So that makes, you know what, that makes so much sense. Look at that. So you're not going to get in this, like if you were to go and say, I'm going to get 3 bottles of this ink and you only get this, you're not going to get a true purple. So that's good to know with these 3, with Tiger Lily, Solar Yellow, and Blue Indigo. I was like, oh man, this might be the wrong color, but nope. What if I add more red? The Tiger Lily. Okay, look at that. Get a really lovely brown. Okay, actually, I really like that. So that is 2 parts Tiger Lily, 1 part Blue Indigo. You get this lovely brown. And this blue is very lovely too. And now remember, I do want to preface this, like, if I get this color on bank paper, it may look a little bit different on other paper. So let me grab a sheet of paper to kind of show you a little bit how it's going to look, some of these. This is my Lock B pretty much everything filler, and that brown would be a really nice warm chocolate brown to write with. I want to kind of see what this orange, I really like this orange. This is an orange that is definitely up my alley. That's the Solar Yellow mixed with Tiger Lily. So just, it is similar, but it's going to be a little bit of a different color. And I do want to see this green too on here. I could do everything, but I'm not going to, because yeah, that is lovely. Like, look at that. That's Blue Indigo and Solar Yellow. So you get some really lovely colors just from these 3 colors. So, and that color is drying as a gray, and I love that. That's really pretty. So this would be, and this makes sense. Okay, so when you mix complementary colors, you get like a gray, and orange and blue are complementary. So that makes sense why you're not going to get a purple here. You need a more actual red based with no orange. And Tiger Lily does have orange in it. It reminds me of like maybe like a cadmium or like a race engine red, so it's got yellow in it. But that is what you would do if you got Tiger Lily and Blue Indigo and Solar Yellow. And I'm gonna do more. So I'm gonna clean my palette off, and I'll be back for the next one, which is, I just want to show you. You're gonna get different ones. This is gonna be a long video, by the way, if you didn't catch that. But yeah, this is Solar Yellow, Tiger Lily, and Skyline. So we're gonna do a little bit of a different blue, but still the same yellow and red. Okay, so I also realized I did put on all of the mixing sheets, I did put like all the same. So this one, the only different color is Skyline. So I'm not gonna do this because we already have it right here. So I'm not gonna do it again, just so we know, for time's sake and whatnot, just don't want to. And so I just am letting you know that it is there. If you think I'm not finishing it, I did finish, I promise you, just on another one. So, and we'll go through them at the end too, so you can see the differences in colors and whatnot. Okay, so Skyline, I feel like Skyline is very much so the phthalo warm blue. I could be wrong. I get them all mixed up. I am telling you, I've only been doing this. I've only been learning about paint and mixing colors. Like, I know about color and theory, like, but I knew basics up until just a few years ago when I started taking courses in it. So I am still learning, but that looks very much so warm. And I'm pretty sure the Blue Indigo would lean more cool, but I'm not positive on those. So just so you know, I'm still learning, and I'm just doing this so you can learn a little bit. And I'm acting as if you have no idea as well. So, all right, we're gonna do a little drop with Tiger Lily. Okay, and now I remember that this is probably gonna be grayish, but Tiger Lily mixed with Skyline actually makes this a lovely deep teal. Look at that. that is beautiful. Again, that one looks a lot to me like Aurora Borealis, Diamine's color. So that is pretty. What if I just do more of the Skyline? Actually, you know, I have Skyline right here. And take this and do a little bit more Skyline. And I get a color close to my favorite, which is, oh no, not close. It looks close right here, but oh, I love that. I absolutely love that. That's gorgeous. Okay, now, what about Tiger Lily? Where's Tiger Lily? I need a little bit more in my pipette to do a little bit more of a, this is closer to Tiger Lily. So add a drop or two. Trying to keep my pipettes with the color and only touching the color because I don't want to mess with my bottles and ruin their actual color, because then I can't do these mixes. And that makes like another brown, which does not shock me, but almost more of a greenish brown, which is interesting. Like almost like the tone, if you are familiar with Ferris Wheel Press's Curious Wood, that's like the brown there. Okay, now Skyline and yellow, which I'm pretty sure makes like their hyper green that they sell in a bottle, if I remember correctly. Or just a regular Kelly green, if you want your standard green. And I think, is that Amazonia? Amazonia might be a little bit different, but you wouldn't have to, if you like the Amazonia tone, you wouldn't have to buy them. You could buy Skyline and Solar Yellow and then get all those colors in between, like all the different greens and blues, because by adding different ratios you can get different colors. So there's that, and I'm going to add some more yellow to it. You get a very nice springy May green, and then adding more blue to it over here. You're gonna get a very nice blue green. So there are those with the Solar Yellow and the Tiger Lily. Now, I do have enough room, I think, on my mixing block to not have to pause and go clean this off. But I'm going to move this, and when they're dry I will show you a little bit more. But what's interesting, I love this about even these inks, is some of them sheen. So the blue here sheens, and so it's sheening in even these two mixes. I really love this. These are going to actually, like, one of the reasons I'm doing this too is these are actually going to come in handy for me as well, because I don't want to buy all of the Diamine inks. However, sometimes I think I probably will, because I just love, I love having the permanent ink. Document ink is some of my favorite, just because I can use it with watercolor, but I can also use it and not worry about, like, my stuff's getting spilled. So now I am not going to do Solar Yellow and Skyline, so I'm just gonna skip that mix because we already have it. Trying to make sure my brush is really clean. I'm really gonna have to clean my water. I have two waters over here, but I think I'm gonna have to clean my water. And I should have painted Skyline before, but that's okay. And we've got cherry red is our color here. So that's fun. Okay. Solar Yellow and cherry red and Skyline. Okay. There are so many different ways to make these charts too. My friend makes this really cool chart where she starts with one color and then does all the mixes, and then she takes that color out and then keeps going. And I've done that in some of my books too, and I'm not explaining it. at all well. But yeah, that's that. Just drop it right there onto the bank paper and then drop her right here. Now this red is so bright. I actually really want to put it in a pen because I think it would be fun. Just the red, but it is like whoo, in your face red. If this is the first you've watched this, like that is a beautiful, lovely, cool toned red. I do know that this one is a cool toned red. I figured that out because the Tiger Lily is warm. This one's cool. I just struggle with blues and yellows, which one is cool and warm. But because I know that like this one, it leans pink. If it leans pink, it's definitely cool toned. So let's see what we get when we mix Skyline and Cherry Red, because I know we're going to get some sort of purple. And we get a navy, which is, I mean, it's more of an indigo. We get that lovely indigo color. Look at that. Oh my gosh, that is delicious. And it is different than blue indigo. Or is it the same? That might be an interesting thing to do. I'm gonna just do it right here so I can see it as it dries. That looks a little different, but yeah, it's a little different. It's definitely more purple leaning, but if we drop another cherry red in there, come on. Now, the hot magenta in Skyline, I think, is going to give you your nice purple that you're used to. But like when you mix colors, you get this purple. It's more like your plummy purples. You're not going to get an actual purple with regular red and regular blue. So you know, it always annoyed me in art class because I always wanted the bright purples, but I didn't understand that color makes you color mixing. Color theory. It's really important. And then that's a really lovely blue violet right there. It's just darker. But I am a fan of Skyline. But I'm not, like, I'm a fan of Skyline for mixing, but personally this blue is just not a blue for me, like alone. So I did get it for mixing. And now Cherry Red and Skyline, and Solar Yellow. I have also used Solar Yellow as just a standalone color, and it is readable. It is a nice bright yellow that is readable. So if you want a yellow, if you're looking for a yellow that's readable, that you want just like standard in your face, I am yellow, I am here, Solar Yellow is definitely it. So yeah. Okay. And Cherry Red is sheening on this bank paper. It is sheening kind of an orange. So that's interesting. And there you have, this one is real close to Tiger Lily. So right now, my best suggestion, if you really want standard mixing colors, you could skip Tiger Lily and Blue Indigo and get something very similar to them with just these three colors. So there is that. That's good to know. I really like indigo as a color, and sometimes, like, as nice as mixing inks is, I will say I don't always want to mix my inks, and I want just the color. And so this is just something, like, I do like to have the option to mix my inks so I can figure out if, like, so I can match colors when I'm, especially with my document inks, when I'm doing drawings and paintings and things. But sometimes it's just so nice and convenient to just have the color already. So there's that one. Now, yeah, when you look at that, it isn't the same. The mix is not the same, but it is really close. So I would say, like, and Tiger Lily, that is Tiger Lily. So Tiger Lily is is one that if you like, you could get cherry red and solar yellow and make your own tiger lily, and you could make this. So you could make all of these mixes right here with just cherry red and solar yellow. So that is something to think about, because that is really literally the same. So now let's see here. Yeah. Okay. Now I have solar yellow, blue indigo, and cherry red. We have already done solar yellow and cherry red, and we've already done solar yellow and blue indigo. So I am literally just going to mix cherry red and blue indigo. And I'm not even going to color in solar yellow since I'm not doing it. So I have both of those, and then I can go clean off my palette, and then we can go on to hot magenta, which I'm very excited about, because I know that makes my really bright colors, and those are my coup de grace, my bread and butter. I love my bright colors. So there we go. I'm very excited about it. Can you tell? That's blue indigo. There we go. Clean off and whatnot. Cherry red. Now I wonder too, I haven't experimented with it. I want to do it by myself, like on my own, before I put it into a video and let you know. But I have Van Diemen's like dilution solution, or whatever they call it, and that the Van Diemen's solution you can lighten colors with by using that. So I am like not just white, but like it's a dilution solution, which is how a lot of inks are diluted. And I just don't know if it's going to mess with the pigment or not. So I want to try it, and then I will get back to you, because I want to try it in a pen. I actually, you know what, maybe I will try it. I'll try it on here, because like with watercolor, see how much lighter this is, because I used a little bit of water in it. But there is that lovely, more violety color that I love so much. But I like the really bright in your face. Like I haven't yet, but I have plans to put magenta into a pen, just magenta. But there are some really lovely tones that you can get right here. But yeah, you know what? I'm gonna do it while we're here. I'm gonna do it and see what happens with the paintbrush, because I don't know how it will work in a pen, if it'll be too wet. But I do want to see if it changes the forever properties. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, now I'm back. I meant to do this off camera, but that's okay. It's just a quick circle. We're gonna do hot magenta and blue indigo and solar yellow and hot magenta. And this is the fun part. Okay, no, I shouldn't say this is the fun part, but this is, for me, like these colors are the fun colors, because I love hot magenta. And I think what I want to do is I'm probably going to do this, because my brush is already wet. No, you know what? Yeah, I got to clean it off. I don't know what I'm thinking. This is the part that drives me crazy with like doing color mixing. Even if it's relaxing, it's like trying to figure out the like cleaning aspect. There's just always so much cleaning of the brush. You know what? Yeah, we're gonna just mix it. And there is one of our happy bright purples. Look at that beauty. I think I need a little bit. No, I do not. Not until I mix the two. But yeah, and then you see like how lovely is that? It's actually like a bright indigo, more so than anything. And then we will bring it over here. Look at that. And that's probably close to the passion purple. I'm curious to see the difference between this one, like these purple mixes, and the Skyline, because blue indigo is so dark. Be interesting to see. I'm very excited. Give Mandy some colors and she will go excited. But give Mandy this bright hot pink, and yes, please. pinks are my favorite. Pinks and purples. And Opera Rose is one of my favorite watercolors because it does such really cool things to color. So yeah, but yeah, as I was thinking about it, because somebody was like, why didn't Diamine come out with white? And you know, I was thinking about it actually. I'm like, but it also makes sense even with the Diatramentus white, because that's how you get your like pastel colors. But that's not how you get your light colors in watercolor. In watercolor, it's diluting. And that's the same process with ink, is you're diluting. And why did I just do that? I did that again. Well, there's more. Oh, that's Skyline. Whoops. That's not even right. So just X that out. But see, you get your lighter colors by diluting it with water. So, you would get those colors if you diluted it, but the thing with water is, from what I understand, is you can't just mix it with just straight water, which is why I have this diluter and rehydrator. So we're gonna try that. I'm gonna try that in a pen and see how that works, because I don't know if this wash, once it's dry, will move. So I'm gonna see. And I'm not sure, because this is such a good flowing ink. I don't know what would happen if you added that when you added it to a pen. Now let's do this. So happy accident right there. Let's do this, but it's fun to see this too. Okay. Now this to me looks like Honeypot. And Honeypot's right here. So I was just wonder if we skip all the mixes with Honeypot, because I really think that, I don't know. I'm going to do the mixes. I have the pages made up, because it will still make really interesting mixes. And solar yellow. But this yellow is awesome. This yellow is such a good yellow. This solar yellow, I've been just loving it. Yeah, especially like for mixes and stuff, but just even on its own. Look at this. Look at how orangey red that is. These are going to be your brighter, bolder colors. So yeah, it'll be interesting. Okay, this is dry, so I'm going to take just regular old water over this. It doesn't move. So it doesn't change the properties if okay, that's a game changer right there. All right, so there is the colors with hot magenta. You can get some really pretty colors that way, but we're gonna do it again with Skyline instead. And we've done solar yellow and Skyline, and we've done solar yellow and hot magenta. So now we're just gonna do hot magenta and Skyline. Okay. And then, yeah, I think we'll try Honeypot and see what Honeypot with the colors do. And if it's doing some interesting things, great. Otherwise, we might not do those. I might just do them all this way. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure if we're gonna get different. I just don't know. It's hard to know. But I kind of want to do like a diluted one and see of my favorites or something like that. I don't know. I'm thinking out loud. This is just me thinking. So this is what I do. Okay. I also wonder what like hot magenta mixed with cherry red would be. So maybe we could do that. I might do it. Since I've got the space on here, I can just change that to cherry red, because nobody said I couldn't. This is my paper. All right, here is Skyline mixed with, oh, look at that. Yeah, so you would not need to buy Passion Purple. And then I'm gonna, okay, look at that. There we go. ink me up right now, please, is what it's saying to me. Sorry, that's like how I'm feeling. Ink me up right now, please. You're so beautiful. Okay, and then if you like a more blue violet, there's that. That's our Skyline. Now I need to color in the Skyline. But I wanted to do all that since I had my brush already messy. And why not? Why not try magenta and cherry red? Because I really want to see it. Or magenta and tiger lily would be really cool. I think I'm trying to decide if Honeypot is really similar. I'm gonna paint Honeypot and see how similar it is to Hot Magenta and Solar Yellow, because I do think it is. And if that's the case, then you're gonna get those mixes with just those. Oh, look at that. Okay, that's right there. That's my jam. Okay, this right here is just making me very, very happy. But I want to try this. And then this one is my cherry red. Do I have enough in here to give me a drop? Yep. Yeah, why not use these spots that I already made? I knew that I would like, and when I made these charts, I knew that I would have empty ones, because I knew that like I would have mixes that would mix over. So, because Hot Magenta and Cherry Red might give us a really pretty color. I just really like this cherry red. That cherry red is so cherry, and it is screaming get into a pen, that's for sure. But if you mix, oh yeah, if you mix Hot Magenta and cherry red, look at that color that you get. That beautiful, it's almost like the Pilot Iro Shizuku's Momiji, but this is this right here. This right here. When you add water, you get this really lovely reddish pink, and that's what I wanted to see. So that's when you add water, you get those lighter colors. So there it is, that lovely reddish pink if I added water. Now this over here though, Hot Magenta, just Hot Magenta alone if you add water, because I want to see what pink I can get. Because my favorite pink is like a light rose, so like a very blue based. And so I could get that. Yeah, look at that. That is pretty. That is pretty, very, and even your lighter pinks you can get. And this would still be legible. Even on that lighter, I believe. And then, you know, anyway, that's kind of what I'm thinking, because I'm thinking that if I'm going to dilute one, it's going to be one that I want to be a color that I want, like as a, like this would be like your lighter purple, almost like, yeah. So there you go. Or a lighter blue violet would be pretty too. There, see? So you get your lighter colors by adding water. And then that can give you some really lovely shading properties too, where you see where it shades. That's what I love about ink. Where the pigment pools. I'm thinking hard here what I was doing. Okay, so that's that. I'm just trying to think. I might reference my book here in a second. I do want to do one more. I want to see how Honeypot looks mixed. So I'm going to just mix Honeypot with Skyline and see what happens before I... Oh my gosh, there's a fly in my house. Welcome to summer where flies come at you, right? I'm going to shut my... I have my Hot Magenta still open, and I see that as a disaster waiting to happen. And then Honeypot. Hope you are enjoying this, viewers. I hope this is helpful to someone, or multiple someones. One person asked, I had time, so I'm doing it. And sharing my lack of wisdom. I'm sure that there are people and artists, like if you view this and you're like, oh my goodness, Mandy, you don't know what you're talking about. You're probably right. I probably don't know what I'm talking about. A lot of what I do is trial and error and just playing. Like, I just want people to get out and play with their supplies more and make messes and find happy accidents because they're fun. And why not? But I love this color. I actually have this inked up in a pen right now, and I did end up buying a full bottle of it because I really do like this color. It's such a great color. It's such a great sketching color, especially because then you can sketch over it with other things and it kind of disappears. I don't know, I just like it. And Skyline. But yeah, I wanted to see how close it is to Solar Yellow and Hot Magenta. You know, actually, maybe it's not. I don't know. But there's Skyline and Honeypot. And then I'm gonna do this, and we'll go like this in here. There we go. Okay, yeah, no, I do want to do a whole mixing of it because this green, yeah, this is, look at that green. That is definitely a different kind of green. So we're gonna do a whole mix. You're welcome. But I might skip the like in-betweens just because I want to play with my ink some more in a different way than this, than mixing. You're welcome. And now I'm hyper fixating on the fact that I can dilute it and maybe it will work in a pen. So now I really want to figure that out. So I'm trying to like decide what ink I'm going to do that with. But, oh yeah, I needed to do a full mix of Honeypot. So there's Honeypot mixed with Hot Magenta. Look at that. Yeah, it needed it. It needed a full mix up. And like what's nice is I've already done all the other mixes, so it just can be Honeypot and Hot Magenta and Honeypot and Blue Indigo. You know, those kind of things. So this next one, there's Honeypot with those two. Okay. Now it's gonna just be Honeypot and Blue Indigo, and then Honeypot and Cherry Red. So Honeypot, Blue Indigo. I actually think that for ease, I can just do this. Haha! Look at me figuring out things. And then I think what I'm just going to do is I'm going to change that to Cherry Red. And then I can do Honeypot with Tiger Lily because I've already done Honeypot with Skyline. And then there's Honeypot with Blue Indigo mixed. And then I can just do Tiger Lily. And I might just do Tiger Lily just on the bottom here so I can be done with these mixes. And you can see them all, because I would love to see them all together too. Yeah. And then there's one more I want to experiment with, but I need to look in my book. Let's see here, Cherry Red. Actually, I think I still have some Cherry Red. Oh, look at that. I could have done this the whole time and not dealt with this. What? Wasn't thinking. See? I was trying to be like super like organized and you know, remind myself that I can be more than just pure chaos. I think I need a little bit more Honeypot in that one. But I just, ADHD, I get bored. See, I'm bored with this. I'm already like fixating on the next thing. So there's that one. Oh, okay, that's pretty. That looks like Tiger Lily. Is it? Is it Tiger Lily? Yeah, it's close enough to Tiger Lily that I don't think I need to mix Honeypot with Tiger Lily because I think, where did that one go? I think I mixed Tiger Lily. Yeah, Tiger Lily with Solar Yellow. That is pretty darn close. So yeah, you'll get just like a more, you know, orange red. So there we go. Oh, look at that. But see, blue indigo with Honeypot makes that like almost like Ucky green. They call it Ucky green. But you get some really, really beautiful mixes with just 3 colors. Like you can really get some really fun. And I didn't even do the like mixing like a little bit, like mixing complementary colors. So like you can mix these 2 colors and have a lot of fun with that stuff and get some really cool grays, really cool browns, like some muted greens, muted colors. However, I do want to show you one of those mixes as well. And I'm going to pull out my book and pick a mix. So I'm going to go find my book. I had it just a second ago, so I will be right back. Okay, so I wanted to see if I could get something similar to Smoky Mauve with just these colors. And Smoky Mauve to me looks like I'm just going based off my memory of what Smoky Mauve is. It looks a lot like this, which is 50% ultramarine blue, 20% cerulean blue, 30% permanent rose with a water level of 2. Okay. So let me see what I can do here with what we have, because I know that this is like one of those things that it's trial and error, but really I want to see what we can get with just what we have for the like standard colors. Okay, I put Smoky Mauve. Okay, what about then the next page is a little bit more red. And, you know, actually it's more this. Cobalt blue and alizarin crimson. So, and with a high water level. So this is saying, I think, so knowing cobalt blue is really similar to, is closest to Skyline. It would be a little less, but it's 40%. So I think if I'm going to do 10 drops, that would be 4 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4 of that, and then it is alizarin crimson, which is your cherry red. So I'm gonna see what happens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now this isn't going to be exact because I was using air bubbles, but then and the water level is 3. So I'm not exactly sure what the water level means. Let me look it up because I want to make sure that I'm doing this right. Okay. So you need to adjust the recipes accordingly. Okay, so we'll start with this. Okay, so this is just your basic purple recipe. So we're gonna start with this down here. So that's with basically no water. It's gonna be this dark color. So now, as I take this and water it out, that is not even close. Okay, I think it needs more red. Again, no water. Would be this. Oh, I'm off camera. Sorry. No water. Now, water this bad boy down. Okay, so we're getting closer, at least tone-wise. It's really watered down, but I think now it's too red. And looking here, do any of these are just all blue. And this one added, so I want to go back to this page and see what here. And this one to get these were ultramarine blue, cerulean, and so I wanted to see what happens if I add just 1 drop of blue indigo. And see if that gets closer to the smoky mauve mixed with water. So I added 1 drop. There's that. Now a lot of this is trial and error. What if I added a little bit of magenta? I have just a little bit left in my dropper. Is not enough. That's just air bubbles. Okay. Oh, actually, I have it right here. Cherry red mixed with magenta. So what if I mix those? I'm going to get this really bright, loud color for a second here, but we mute it out when we add water. See, this is where it gets, I wonder if I take a little bit of this green, because green is going to gray it. There we go. Yes. Okay. So there it is. You can get, or really close. I think if I add just a little bit more of the purple. Yeah. Yep. So you can get the smoky mauve if you have just your standard basic colors. So they did use it, but it's one of those where you have to mix, like you have to mix in trial and error, and that's a lot of when you're mixing. That's what it is. And now I want to pick a color in here as I'm looking. These are like value recipes. This is what I did in the first one. I kind of did between the values. I want to look and see here. So I have been talking about my love for, where is it? Oh man, I don't know. My love for London Tulibar Ghost Plant. And I got it close, but looking here, I could have probably got a little bit closer if I would have used my color mixes a little bit more. So I'm looking here. Burnt Umber is blue indigo mixed with Tiger Lily, and it is 40% or 60% burnt umber and 40% phthalo blue mixed with lemon yellow. Okay, to get something that's close. Or this one, 90% phthalo blue mixed with 10% burnt sienna. Okay, I want to try that since I do have, like, so that's what I thought too. Honeypot was really close to Naples Yellow in my book. So I'm going to try this one and see what happens. And I want to try it because this water level, it says it's 2. So I'm going to add some of the dilution solution too. So if I'm doing 40%, it's 40% or 60% blue. Okay, we're going to find out. I am going to find out. Okay, because why not? Okay, 60%. Somebody told me 1 milliliter is like 20 drops. So we're going to find out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 20. That's close. Okay, that's close. Okay, 20. 60%. So if I'm going to do I'm trying to do this math in my head. I'm not very good at math. If I want to make 2 milliliters, I think 60%, that would be about 60%. Okay. This is just This is just me eyeballing it, so I'm not gonna get completely accurate. I would have to do all the math, and I'm not great at math, and I just don't feel like it. And 40% Honeypot. So I'm just gonna fill this to the close to the 2 milliliters. Can you see why I'm not a baker? I can cook, but I cannot bake because baking requires precision, and I am not precise. I hate math. I've always hated math. It's just I hate being precise, and I hate being told that I'm wrong because it's not the right way to do a solution. Yeah. It's really fun trying to teach math when you hate it. And you're like, I'm sorry, students. I hate math too. So I get it. I get it. But I really want to see if this would work. Now I don't want to use my, I ended up staining my Hokoro with this because it is pigment based. So I'm trying to decide if I want to just, just use this guy. Just use this guy because he's glass. Just to swatch it and see if that is the tone I like, but not the value. What if I add water? What happens when I add water? Do I need to add? Yeah, I think I need to add a little bit more yellow. See? See? I may not be precise, but I know what I need to do. Like I'm not going to be able to make this, like recreate this recipe for you, but like I know I can do this and show you. See, this looks too green to me. So maybe what I need to do is add just a hint, just a drop of red, because that's gonna dull it. Because red is the complementary color. I might even need to add another drop. Yeah, a couple more drops. Just, you know what? I still have, yeah. I really like gray greens. They're my absolute favorite. And yeah, I like gray greens. That is not working out the way I want it to. But that's why this is trial and error, right? Okay. Okay, one more color. What about if I add indigo? See, this is what happens. This is what happens to me. There we go. That's, see, and I would use this color right here. Just this color. It's like a pine green. But what does it look like when I dilute it? It's not gray enough. Grrr. Maybe some tiger lily. I'm just emptying out my pipettes. They were gonna get cleaned out anyway, and I was gonna lose them, so. Okay, now. Now are you gray enough? See if, because I'm trying to, it's not bad. It's actually kind of a nice green. It's not what I was going for, but you know what, actually when I look at it, that is exactly what I was going for, or really close to it. So apparently I like it on the page next to all the other greens, but oh yeah, as it dries, that's exactly what I was going for. Okay, so now, this is the fun part, is that now I can start adding the diluter and rehydrator, and then we're gonna try it in a pen. So usually you add quite a bit of this. So I'm just gonna go in and add a lot. I love this stuff. It's really fun. I've done this with a couple different inks, like Pilot Shizuku Riku and whatnot. So then, yeah, there you go. Now, what does it look like? But I've never done it with a pigment ink. Oh, hello. There is the color I'm looking for. All right, now I have, because I'm not sure how this is gonna be in a pen. It's really wet right there, like legitimately wet. Yeah, I'm not sure how this is gonna work in a pen. So this is a complete experiment, and luckily most of this was just ink that was still in my pipettes that I wasn't gonna put back into my my vials or my samples, because it was just going to get cleaned out. So really, I'm not really wasting ink. I think I grabbed a little bit from Honeypot, but I do have a full bottle of Honeypot, so I'm okay with that. I actually don't want to dip my Lamy. I don't like my Lamy Safaris. I'm just going to come out and say it. I don't like them. So that's why I'm trying it with this, because I want to try to like my Lamys. I only have a few of them, and they're ones that I've given away to friends when they say it. So they're nice. They're nice for starting, and they're what I started out with. So I do have, I still have one of my very first pens. I broke my very, very first pen. It was very tragic, but I didn't know what I was doing. I also didn't know that you could replace parts. So yeah, I broke my first Lamy. Actually, I think it just broke the nib, but I didn't know you could replace the nibs. So yeah. We are going to test this. Okay. This video is going to be so long. And this is a medium nib. It actually is working really well. It does take time to dry. Now I'm going to test it. I do want to test it on Tomoe River paper. All right, so I am testing out this ink mix. What's really nice is this is a medium nib, and so that's quite big. It doesn't bleed. It isn't bleeding, so that dilution solution works really well. I am pretty impressed. So I actually really like this color. I don't know what it is, or what I was going for. It is actually, hang on. So this is the recipe that I kind of, and I did add some other things to it. I added a little bit of red, but it is really, really close to the color I was looking to make, which is this green. Look at that. I am fancy. So this was a mix of 60-ish%. I would probably actually say 50-ish% because we added other stuff. 50-ish% of Skyline. 40-ish% of Honeypot. Maybe a little bit more, a little bit less. And then some, like, I would say 5% cherry red. And 5% of indigo. And then I would say plus 50% Van Diemen's Dilution. Van Diemen's Diluter. Okay, so then I've got kind of, and like, I have a full sample vial of this almost, like so this will last me forever, like really, because until I mix another color, because I'm going to get bored of this color, I'm sure, and then I'll want another color. And then, you know, I don't know. Maybe you don't know because you're really into one color forever. I am not. I am pure chaos. This was chaotic. Like, what is this? Oh, man. And of course I did it on one that, like, yeah, that's what happens. But I mean, these are meant for me, and I know that I can, like, what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to cut them out and then put them in a place where I can reference them. But here are some different, like, the whole point of this was to get all of these mixes to see that you can really get 3 colors and get so many colors out of it. That is what's so cool. And I mean, then if you decide like, oh man, there's another color I want, you know, like, you may need a resource like this to figure out what mix you want. Because I did look and see, and you're going to need some color theory, and you're going to need to understand color and start really looking into it. But you can get there. You can get there because, like, then you can mix things. And yes, it might take a little bit of trial and error. And the only reason I'm, like, able to do trial and error is because I've done this mixing so much. But you can get, even just mixing 1-to-1, you can get like more colors. And then it's just to decide, like, when you're looking at these, if you're deciding your mix, do you like the main mix right here? Where's my yellow with my, or do you like solar yellow with tiger lily and blue indigo? Or do you like the hot magenta? What kind of mixes do you like? And that's something that you need to decide. Do you like this? I love this. Like having tiger lily and skyline mixed to that. But remember that tiger lily is basically cherry red mixed with solar yellow. So really, if you mixed this up and then if you mixed this up and then put some blue in it, you could get that. So you could really get that with these 3 colors. So, like, if you want to go with just 4, go with solar yellow, skyline, cherry red, and hot magenta. Or you could go with these 3. You could go with these 3, like the solar yellow, hot magenta, and yeah. But I also really love the way that Honeypot looks too. So it's just making some informed decisions on the colors that you want, because this is solar yellow and hot magenta with blue indigo. You're going to get some really cool colors too, and it's just making you need to decide, do you want what yellow? Do you want to get the more warm yellow or the more cool yellow? And then you have to decide, do I want to get this blue or blue indigo? Because yes, you can kind of make blue indigo with skyline and tiger lily, but it is not the same. Blue indigo is definitely, at least at this point, what they're doing for a cool blue. And I do know that Diamine plans on, from what I've read, they plan on having more pigment-based inks in their ink vent this year. So I don't think that this line is going away. I don't think that they're not going to expand it, but I just want to do this really quick while we're here. Look at that. I have just been so impressed with Diamine Forever inks. I just love it. And now I did want to see one more thing before we go. I did want to see how well this works on Leuchtturm paper, because that's my big thing. The paper I use the most is my Leuchtturm, because that's where I do all of my journaling. I want to check and see if this is bleeding on here. Does this bleed? No, it does not. It cleans out really, really nicely in pens, because I've had it in multiple pens. I literally have, I have butterscotch in one. I have a brown mix. Like, this is my brown mix right now. Don't ask me what it is, but it's more of an ochre color. And I mixed a bunch of colors to get that. So used my book and did that. So yeah, I really am loving this, this line. So that's why I did this. I know that people are still on the fence, and this was a really long video. If you stuck in it with me, I just want you to give me a thumbs up emoji. If you have any more questions, if you want me to do more of this, let me know. I am happy to show you my experiments. I feel like a mad scientist when I mix colors, and I have been making watercolor this last week, and it's working out magically. And so now I feel like even more of a mad alchemist, scientist person. So I am happy to play an experiment and make a mess for you and for me. Yeah, and it looks really, really pretty on the Leuchtturm paper. It's a little bit more saturated on the Leuchtturm, but that's okay. I really like it. Yeah, there's my brown too. I'm excited about that. I might actually be using my Lamy. Ha, who'd have thought? Who'd have thought? Yeah. Oh, you know, actually, this nib is really great. Why haven't I been using this? I've had this, I got this on sale at Endless Pens like 2 years ago for like $20, and it was like on clearance. I was like, and no, less than that. I think it was like $15 for a Lamy Safari. They were really like price gouging it and letting it go. So yeah, I bought it, and then I used it, and then I stopped using it because I find other pens more comfortable. But this color has me really happy. Happy, happy, happy. All right, that is it for today. I am going a little crazy. I think this video is definitely going to be like almost 2 hours long. So enjoy. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day, and thumbs up emoji. Atlas Stationers, I don't know if they do have it in stock. I know they have some of the colors in stock. They just got their first like shipment of it. You can use my code Amanda10 to get 10% off at Atlas, and enjoy. Let me know, did this video help you kind of decide if you're gonna get some of these Diamine Forevers? I really want to make this. That is literally hot magenta with dilution solution, or water, but yeah, with diluter, whatever. And this one's really pretty too. Okay, enough. All right, I love y'all, and it's been wonderful hanging out with you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.